Hello and good afternoon from Østerport station in Copenhagen, Denmark. Today we'll be traveling on the last diesel locomotive in DSB's fleet in their last few days of operations before retirement. Come along as we take a trip on one of the last remaining ME class locomotives to Ringsted. Østerport station is located 2 stops north of Copenhagen Main station, near the landmarks of the Little Mermaid and Kastellet. The station was renovated in 2019 along with the opening of the new metro line in Copenhagen called Cityringen. Personally, I think they did a great job with the building, bringing it up to modern standards, but keeping it with its original design. Let's head to the platform. Our train will be departing from platform 4 and is a regional service bound for Næstved. This train would normally have continued on from Næstved south towards Nykøbing Falster, but due to the track works in preparation for the Femern fixed link to Germany, trains were at the time of filming replaced with buses south of Næstved. Still about 20 minutes to go before our train departs, so let's talk tickets. Tickets can be bought from the ticket machines at the stations, and most stations does have them. The screens are fairly intuitive and usually works quite well. They are also available in English and German. In addition to normal one-way tickets, you can also buy weekly and day tickets, as well as seat reservations and collect your tickets from online purchases. The machines will always take card and coins, but not always cash. You can also use a Rejsekort, but this is most likely not worth it, unless you're local. You can also buy your tickets on the DSB website, the DSB app, or the Billetter app if you prefer electronic tickets on your phone. If you know what trains you'll be catching, this might be cheaper, as unlike the machines, you can buy advanced tickets only valid for specific trains in these sales channels. And in the distance is our train approaching, one of the last remaining ME locomotives built back in 1981 in Kassel in Germany. Just listen to those engines. On board one of the double-decker wagons, these are not going away along with the ME locomotives, but will instead be hauled using new Siemens Vectron locomotives, which are a lot quieter. Let's take a look at today's route. We are traveling on regional train 4857 from Østerport to Næstved, stopping at Østerport, Copenhagen Main station, then via Vestbanen to Valby, Roskilde, Ringsted, where I'll end my journey. After Ringsted, the train continues south via Sydbanen, stopping in Glumsø before arriving in Næstved. After Næstved, if it hadn't been for the track works, the train would have continued further south to Nykøbing Falster, stopping in Lundby, Vordingborg, Nørre Alslev, Eskilstrup, before finally arriving in Nykøbing Falster after a journey time of 2 hours and 5 minutes. The distance by rail from Østerport to Nykøbing Falster is 150 kilometers, and the maximum speed on today's trip will be 160 kilometers per hour. limited by the wagons, as the ME locomotives are capable of 175 km per hour, while the line speed is up to 180 km per hour. Time for a look at the seats. The seats are not that great, the padding is thin, and the headrest is basically no different, which is to be expected from a regional train like this. Power plugs are only found in the 4-seat bays on the upper floors. For some reason, DSB apparently thinks people on the lower floors are worth less, I guess. Officially there is Wi-Fi on these trains, but from my experience it does not seem to work 8 out of 10 times. And neither did it work on this occasion. There are also window blinds, small overhead storage on the upper floor, and slightly bigger on the lower floor. And that's about everything you get on the DSB double-deckers. After a brief stop at Copenhagen Main station, our train starts to head away from the capital towards the countryside.
Goddag og velkommen her i regionaltoget til Næstved. Indtil Næstved standser toget i Valby, Høje-Taastrup, Roskilde, Ringsted og Glumsø. Samtidig skal jeg gøre opmærksom på myndighedernes krav om mundbind. Det gælder i alle DSBs toge, på stationer og på perroner. Første stop det bliver Valby.
Let's take a look at the rest of the train.
Viser.
The back of the train has an open section with space for bikes, proms and wheelchairs, as well as an accessible toilet. At the top floor of this carriage you will also find the first class section. And at last, a look at the toilet. There's one for each wagon. Not exactly nice looking in here. But the toilet is well stocked. There's toilet paper, flush working with no issue, water is a bit slow, but it gets there, and there's powdered soap. Everything is functional, but looking a bit tired. In order for the DSB ME locomotives to be taken out of service, major changes has been made to the service patterns in the 2022 timetable. Let's have a quick look at the current timetable of the services using the ME locomotives. In their final year of operations, the ME locomotives were mainly found on the Nordvestbanen services to Holbæk and Kalundborg, as well as services to Nykøbing Falster, both on the fast line via Køge Nord or via the local line via Roskilde. In case of both lines, services were also operated with IC4 and IC3 trains alongside the ME class. In order to phase out the ME locomotives, DSB has had to make changes to the timetable and service patterns on the regional trains on Zealand, as the ME locomotives are being replaced with newer electric Siemens Vectron locomotives, but electrification has only reached Næstved so far. After the timetable change, the services to Nykøbing Falster will change, with the current fast regional service to Copenhagen remaining mostly unchanged. However, now this service will be operated exclusively with IC3 sets, as the new European Signaling System ERTMS gets taken into use. IC3s are the only diesel trains in DSB's fleet with ERTMS at the moment. Due to the lack of IC3s with set signaling, the second slow service to Copenhagen from Nykøbing Falster, usually running via Roskilde, will instead now only run to Køge, branching off at Næstved. To replace the slow train from Nykøbing between Næstved and Ringsted, a new service will be operated from Næstved via Roskilde and Copenhagen to terminate in Helsingør using the new Vectron locomotives. On Nordvestbanen to Holbæk and Kalundborg, the services remain largely unchanged, with the services now being operated primarily by IC4 sets, with some IC3 services as well. More changes are happening on Zealand, with relevancy to the replacement of the MEs and other projects, but to keep this from being a video just about the timetable, this is what's happening on the lines where the ME used to work. Before long, we were approaching Ringsted. On the 11th of December 2021, the last ME will run in passenger service for DSB, marking the end of an era, as the last diesel locomotives in their fleet. Most of the locos has been sold to Nordic Refinance and will most likely be leased out for use on freight services around Scandinavia. It's good to see progress on the Danish railway. Diesel locos aren't exactly quiet or environmentally friendly, and its successor, electric Vecton locomotives from Siemens are a big step in the right direction. In terms of the double-decker wagons, I wish DSB would offer some money to have them refurbished. They are starting to feel really worn out, and the lack of power outlets everywhere in the train is seriously a failure in 2021. Especially now that the standard for regional trains to Kalundborg, Holbæk and Nykøbing is essentially gonna be intercity level for the coming years. I hope you have enjoyed this video marking the end of an era for DSB. If you'd like to follow my travels in real time, you can follow me on Twitter. Keep watching for one final roar of the diesel engines in action.